title, the World Championship.
He's got it, great shot.
And hits the jack and changes everything dramatically.
Cracking ball.
She's got the weight, she's got the line.
Here.
He's hit it. She has won the gold medal in a pulsating final.
Welcome as we swoop in over Australia's tourist capital. It's another magnificent day here on the Gold Coast, and we have reached the climax. We head to Broadbeach, the famous Broadbeach Bowls Club, for the climax of the World Bowls Championship. I'm joined by two of our finest. Carla Krasanik, you're joining us for the first time, two-time world champion, twice a Commonwealth Games champion. This is your happy place, Broadbeach, isn't it?
It sure is. I walked into the venue this morning. The grandstands are up, the signage is up. I had goosebumps just thinking about the excited butterfly feeling you get on that final day. So I'm super excited for these players today.
That's set up today. We've got the men's four to start us off.
Yep.
These are the biggest names in men's bowls, aren't they?
It is. We couldn't really have asked for a more exciting final, seeing these two teams, Scotland, Australia, go against each other. We've seen Alex Marshall and Aron Sherriff skipping against each other so many times in these big games, and we know they always come down to the wire. So, yeah, this is going to be a good one.
Here's the road to the final for our men's fours, and there was just a hint of an upset for the Cook Islands in the quarterfinals for Scotland, but they held on, they fought back, and now we have the final that I think so many predicted.
Yeah, I think we do, and I think everyone at home would have been looking forward to see this match up against Australia and Scotland. So yeah, they've brought it to us, and yeah, looking forward to it.
Barry, you know what intrigues me? How often do we see a sporting team with two MBEs in it?
Yeah, not very often, but the biggest names in bowls, that's right, Pat. We've touched on as we see them there, just having a bit of a chat. You know, everyone's friendly, and that's what I do like. They're great people. They're all good mates off the green, but today they're going to have to really bring that game, and there's going to be plenty of energy out on the rink, Pat.
Between the Scotland four and Australia's four, I mean, we could put their gold in Fort Knox, I think, could we? There's so many gold medals in outdoors and in indoors.
Yeah, absolutely. All these players know how to play on the big stage. They've all played under the cameras before. They've all played for gold medals before, so they know what to do in these big games.
And like last week, we've got wonderful insight. Both teams allowed us into their team talks just before they started today.
Well, guys, here we go, final of the World Championship fours. Great performance so far. Everybody's done their bit. What's the plans for today, Paul?
Plans are get off to a really good start, get on top of them early, let them know we're here, and just keep doing what we've been doing the last few games.
Good. Dale?
Yeah, definitely settle in well. Get off to a good start, put them under some pressure. We've got good fans in the stands there, so hopefully that'll work in our favour.
Jason?
Yeah, I just think the same. Yeah, I think just try and settle into the game early on, and hopefully get off to a good start and just take it from there.
Yeah, playing some good guys. Let's give it our best shot.
Yeah,
let's go.
Thoughts on tactics today? Matt back short, what are you thinking?
Matt back short worked for us in the triples. Corey's outstanding at that. Teys will consolidate that, so I think it's a fantastic way to go.
Sweet. I saw some posts today. It looks like they've put the electric roller on it and give it a bit of a smashing, so I reckon the pace will be pretty good today. So
brilliant. Nice
thoughts?
No worries.
Yeah,
let's just rip in.
Sounds good.
You know, beat your man. That's the way to go.
Fire up.
Yeah,
the boys.
Well, slightly different accents, but some really good insight there from both teams. Talking about the conditions, as we mentioned there, Aron Sherriff talking about the fact that this green has been rolled this morning. It hasn't been cut. It was cut yesterday, but it has been rolled, and that breeze is just getting up as we speak. It's swirling around from the south. Warm conditions. These conditions are really set for a big match. Let's get it on.
Yes, well, this is going to be a magnificent match. There is no doubt about it. If you turned on and you saw these two teams going at it, you're not going to be going far away from your screen, because this is the best we have in the sport going head to head right now.
Carla and I have made the mad dash up from Greenside. The
Welcome.
voice you hear there is Clive Adams, the voice of bowls in Australia. You were here last week guiding us through. It was wonderful theatre. But I just suspect that we're going to ramp it up a little bit today, particularly this morning.
Yeah, there is going to be absolutely nothing in this match. You heard the Scots there talk about settling in early. That's going to be crucial for them in an away surrounds to settle in early and get the feel early, settle into the match. That's going to be crucial as Jason's first bowl just passes the jack there. Certainly not a bad home to land the first one.
Carla, I'm intrigued by this. This is set up for television and for just make it so much more theatre. We sort of halved the size of it, haven't we? And you've got the spectators right in your lap, really.
It is. They're nice and close, which is great for the spectators. As we say, great opener there. It is. But I think the players are all used to playing in these televised rinks, so they won't be fazed by that at all, and it's fantastic for the spectators, so it's really a good thing.
As a player, it can actually bring your focus right in, can't it, Carla? You don't have that wider view of the whole green. It can really actually narrow your focus quite nicely.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is just me, but I've found at times that the signage along the side actually kind of helps in my periphery. I'm actually kind of aware of it. It actually helps with my line. That might just be me. I'm a bit odd sometimes, but yeah, I've never really minded being on a TV rink with that extra sort of, focus. Wow. How's that for a start?
What about this?
Now, just for the viewers, don't be put off by the red bowls with Scotland, although they're dressed in blue. That's their uniform. Now, the blue and the red is determined by the draw. So whoever's first in the draw uses the blue, and whoever's second in the draw uses the red. So that's the way this one's come about.
Well, we spoke this, we talked this final up, didn't we? And have a look at this.
Oh, if this is... do you know what is scary? This is the first end, so generally players get better and better as the game goes on. So I'm not sure how they can get much tighter than what we've just seen.
Yes, that back bowl at the moment's looking useful as well, isn't it? That first bowl of Jason Banks as Aron Teys just slides under there. So whilst that's a great setup, both teams will be thinking about changing that already.
Yep. Definitely. And I think we're going to see a lot of that today. Jacks are going to be moving quite a bit. We all know that these players can convert. They won't necessarily be looking for picking up lots of shots, but making sure they've got one really good one, because we know what Aron Sherriff and Alex Marshall can do when it's converting time. So they'll be trying to get one good one, really good one, in a good home, rather than trying to build their heads too big, because these boys can convert anything.
If you didn't catch our coverage last week, just reminding you, this is the biggest of the world titles, because we've had a 7-year break after the COVID interruption, and we've got 44 teams, which is just fantastic. As I said, first World Championship since 2016 in Christchurch, so it seems like an eternity ago. And in terms of competing countries, players, gold medal opportunities, host club used, this is the biggest. So it's been a mind-boggling logistical exercise, but from all reports, Clive, things have gone smoothly. They've got it done, with the exception of the first week when we had a alleged thief screwed across the greens here, and one of the New Zealand bowlers crashed tackling before the police arrived. It made the news right around the country.
There's a bit of CCTV footage of that, and as I say, if you're gonna commit any sort of crime and go scooting across the green, you're a bit unlucky to run into, I think Andrew Kelly, I believe I heard he's a trained kickboxer, so that's not ideal. There's a nice shot there for Scotland, Paul Foster. Now, of course, portions of these teams played each other in the triples, and we saw that talked about in the Australian team talk about short ends, as Carl Healey.
Great reply. Maybe just scooted a little bit past.
Yeah, so short ends worked to treat there, and it really had the Scots struggled with that length. So it'll be interesting to see what Australia does as this match progresses. And whether they find their way back to that short length. The 16-second surface, it was probably running quicker than that last week when that final was played. It was later in the day. when the green had a chance to bake and really get up to a treacherous speed is probably the way I'd describe it.
Yeah, we'll have a chat to Barry about it a little later on. But I just don't, at this hour of the morning here, I don't feel it's quite as warm just yet, and there's certainly not the breeze. Where it's an amphitheatre type effect here. So the Australian triples team was Corey Wedlock, Carl Healey and Aron Sherriff. They're already gold medalists at these titles.
Very close to the jack. Look at that. And he's got that jack to a tricky place for Alex Marshall to get to now. Early in a match, you just look for some good bowls early, don't you, Carla? And look at that.
Yeah, it definitely does. If you get the chance to play a shot in the first end, it really does just settle those nerves, build that confidence.
And how's this for some omen, sort of looking at the Australian team? The path to the final, we'll go through the qualifying rounds a little early, but USA in the quarterfinals, Ireland in the semi-finals, Scotland in the final. That was the exact same path in the fours and the triples.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
So, is he the GOAT? Let me start the conversation. Is Alex Marshall, MBE, the best of all time?
Oh, look, it's pretty hard to say he's not, isn't it? It is the question, isn't it? But look, the thing about Alex is that he's won titles on all different surfaces, in all different disciplines, and he's continued to do it over so many years. So it's pretty hard to debate that he's not the GOAT. But
in all different surrounds as well, Carla. Like we've seen Alex at his best in the BPL as well, where the crowd's up and about and they're cheering, and then we've seen him play in the pristine conditions and super quiet conditions.
Yeah, polar opposites.
on the indoor carpets and things like that over in Europe.
Yeah, I've had a chat to him about that once in the past, about how he copes first time playing BPL with all the noise, and he actually said that he finds it easier because somebody makes a noise when it's really quiet, you notice it, but of course when it's a noisy atmosphere, sort of everything just blends in. So.
Well, here we go. He's just going to get the journey. Not quite, I don't think, but Tour to Australia gets us going, Pat.
Nice start. Aron Sherriff getting it done for his team there. We'll head to a break. It's a pristine day here on the Gold Coast, set up for a wonderful morning and afternoon of finals here at the World Bowls Championships.
Right on, bud. Right on, Nick. Right. Good shot, Corey. Way to start, buddy.
So we start the second end here, Australia with a nice early advantage in what was just a high quality first end of bowling, wasn't it?
Certainly was. Did not take long for these players to hone in on the jack, and interesting that we've seen Australia go for a ditch-to-ditch length here. We talked about short ends when they played in the triples, where they've gone the exact opposite here. And that first bowl looks like it's just going to find the ditch. The second bowl, sorry, for Corey.
So now again, for the uninitiated, we've got, because it's fours, we've got 15 ends, as opposed to singles, where it's first to 21.
Yeah.
And so of the four bowlers each side, they get 2 bowls each.
That's the way.
I'm starting to become good at this.
Hang at this, yeah. Great shot there. Jason.
Yeah, good correction by Jason. He was just short on his first and added that little bit, gave it a bit of a chance.
Aaron Teys now. looking to find his way back here. That's just going to carry past as well, and may even find, that's going to find the well as well. The both teams have been pretty dominant across their qualifying rounds. Australia come in with a plus 112 shots for their games played so far. And Scotland are plus 92, but Scotland had that little scare.
Hiccup. Can we say that?
Yeah,
Just a little hiccup.
It was the one that you alluded to in the at the start of the program, Pat. The Cook Islands led them 12-6, and then it ended up 20-12 in favour of Scotland. So the foot went down after that, but just shows you that they can come up with the goods when they absolutely need to.
If anything, it might have given them that little bit of extra confidence, knowing that they can get out of a bit of trouble if they find themselves in it. And I think sometimes it's good to have a little scare in an event. You don't want to go through too cruisy and then get to the final and it fall in a heap. So sometimes a little scare is a good thing.
Australia had a couple of close ones as well. Norfolk Island, just a two-shot win over them, and Wales, a two-shot win there. Is another great shot here. Look at this. Beautifully played.
The toucher as well.
Derek Oliver, he's no stranger to the big stage, Carla.
Yeah, he isn't. Look, he's played finals before. He's a gold medalist, Commonwealth Games gold medalist, so he knows what it's like to play in these big games. And as a second, he's very steady, always, giving that support to the lead, always just finishing just behind. So he's a very steady player in this fours combination. And
Healey. Look at this! What a fantastic shot! Oh. Well, we warned you. We warned you this would be good. You talk about the greatest of all time being Alex, and there's no argument there, Pat, but Paul Foster's record over the years, he's another that's done it on all surfaces and time again.
And how many games have they played together? Do you know that stat for us, Clyde?
Oh, thanks, Carla. I'm going to just round it out to a lot.
A lot. Sounds good. Yeah, no.
Plenty of good ones.
Plenty of good ones. They know each other's games so well. They have won so many events together. So that really adds to the value in their team, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You talk about that versatility, and I just go through his record. He's now 50, Paul Foster, MBE. It's a remarkable 13 indoor gold medals.
Yeah. And this is the point. You know, the focus goes on Alex, and rightly so. But Paul is not far away in terms of his calibre.
What fascinates me about him, he's based at Troon, one of the great golf courses in the world.
Yes, you'd know that
Troon.
well.
I've been there quite a few times for British Opens, etc. Oh, boy, look at this.
Would have loved that just to topple over. I'm not sure that counts. He would have loved it just to topple over, and probably would have counted, but... One red, I think, is the call at the moment. And that, as you see, a wonderful skyline as Aron Sherriff makes his way back up the green. But the players love it. Look at the colour there as well. Australian supporters out. Part of the team as well. And the supporters out ready to cheer on this wonderful fours combination. Just looks a little unders.
All right, mate. That's good.
Great blend of youth and experience here. I know that's the cliche, but it really is today. Like for Scotland, Joseph Banks at 27 and Derek Oliver 30, mixed up with Paul Foster MBE and Alex Marshall MBE at 50 and 56. Then we've got a couple of 2020s. Corey Wedlock at 27 and Aaron Teys at 29. Carl has been around at 36, and Aron Sherriff, of course, we know his deeds at 37. Based down here now, but he's had 7 World Championship medals as Aron Sherriff.
20.
Absolutely, and has been in amazing form over the last
Speed's amazing, mate.
2 years in particular, but I mean, it's been longer than that. But over the last couple of years, he's virtually been unbeatable in Australia.
And on these greens as well, may I add.
Yeah. Aron Sherriff and Kelsey Cottrell have been unbelievable in Australian conditions.
Yeah. They really have, in the Australian competitions, really taken it to the next level and backed it up event after event over the last sort of 2 years. They've both been unbeatable.
So any feel for Alex maybe to change to the backhand here and look for a little nudge of the jack here, Carla? He could make quite a number. It looks like he might still be looking down on the forehand, maybe just to sit the blue bowl through the gap there.
Yeah, he's got options both hands, really.
I thought the little nudge of the jack on the backhand, he's lining up forehand again.
Forehands, yeah.
That's all, mate.
Last bowl of the end.
He was good, mate.
Weight was perfect to set the blue bowl out, just too wide on the line.
They agree. It's one for Scotland. Scotland with the red paddles here. It's 2-1 Australia after 2 pulsating ends. Hey, for technology setups, repairs and everything in between, you need a geek. Visit geeks2u.com.au and book tech support today. We're back at the magnificent Broadbeach Bowls complex. You saw from that drone shot that it's a made-for-television arena today. The green drastically cut down. You feel like the spectators are right on top of you. But the two experts to my right are saying they love that. They love that feel.
Especially now, the grandstands are starting to fill up as more people filter in. So, yeah, it's nice. It gets a bit noisier, a nice atmosphere. I love that.
Again, sorry, Clive, for those who don't watch a lot of bowls, you gain a wealth of information from our graphic on the top left of your screen.
Yeah, certainly. So obviously the big bold numbers are the ones that matter right at the end. The great shot here from Paul Foster. So those big bold numbers, you want to have the biggest one of those because that's the score. You want to make sure you win. But the little numbers in the circles there are the bowls that are left to come for each team on the end. And of course, then you've got your end count there, which lets you know exactly how far into the match. We're going 15 ends in this one, and your little shot counter there that tells you the one little paddle there indicating it is currently 1-2 Scotland.
Yeah, and despite the fact that Scotland are dressed in blue, don't be confused.
What a reply here.
Look at this.
Wow.
Oh,
it's unfortunate.
It's helped a bit. They can see the jack now. Just popped it out a little bit.
At least 2 to Scotland now. With a measure for a third.
Looks like Paul's going to try and get back to the respot. Bit of security for the team. Obviously, if the jack is killed, then the jack gets placed back on the tee, almost about where Paul's going to land this ball right now. Yeah, basically there. Yeah. It definitely adds another element to the game of bowls, is to be aware of if the jack gets knocked out, that it goes back to that spot. So players are thinking about that early on in the ends.
Well, no result there for Carl with Wade. It has definitely satisfied that measure. It's now 3 to Scotland. So a little bit of work to do now for Aron Sherriff as he heads down alongside Alex Marshall. Alex will have the first crack at improving the situation further for Scotland. Scotland looking like they're settling in on this medium sort of length end, whereas Australia went full ditch to ditch long end with their first choice of end. Alex is going to put another one on the spot here and just looking to take away that big shot getaway for Australia. So he said, well, if you want to hit it now, we're still going to have 2. So there's no real encouragement for Aron to play that shot now. He'll come back and see if he can at least get second shot here and cut it down to 1.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to be looking to do too much.
Oh, he's close.
Oh, he is close, isn't he? Oh, look at that. Oh, don't worry about second shot. He might have drawn each shot.
Nudge the jack, and it's still going to be 1 to Scotland, but what a fantastic bowl. Just using the jack high bowl, little edge off it, and back to the jack. That little nudge of the jack was the one that he didn't want.
It's definitely made it much easier for his next bowl, though, hasn't he? Taken away that gap there and give himself a little bit more of a chance.
Is there any, with Scotland owning 2 on the tee, is there any temptation for Scotland to use some weight here, Carlo? The one bowl there for Australia holding them out of 2 more. It's almost impossible to draw another.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a good point, Clive. There is that option that they could kill it, get 2 on the spot. I don't know, he may be looking to see if he can sit Aron's last bowl out. It is sort of jack high. He may be able to sit out on the backhand.
Just a matter of choosing the weight, isn't it? It is some weight. Yeah, looking more for the bowl. Just going to drop under. I think you'll find Aron Sherriff just having a look to see if there's a line in there on the backhand for him now. Almost impossible to draw on the forehand. If there's a line on the backhand, he may look for it, just on the draw. That's where he's going. Well, clear the front is the first thing he needs to do. He's not quite going to do that, so...
This is a desperately competitive affair, which we suspected it might be. After 3 ends, Scotland, Australia locked at 2-all.
Again, we're going to see Scotland make the choice of this medium length end. You can see the mat back there, and Alex indicating for a medium length end from Jason Banks. Of course, it's a bit of a family affair for Jason here at the World Championships, Carla, with with Carla, his sister, in action.
Yeah, there's not many Carlas in the world, so yeah, I remember my first game playing Carla Banks quite a few years back because I don't get the chance to play Carlas too often. Isn't that great to see though? And we've got the Rickson sisters coming up later this afternoon. You know, we've seen over the years, you know, mums and daughters in teams. I believe the Ricksons played with their mum at the Commonwealth Games as well back in 2018. So it's something unique about our sport to see so many families in teams, and you know, we've got couples that play for other countries. We've had that over the years, which is exciting to see. So yeah, pretty unique in our sport to see so many families and mums and daughters and dads and sons get the chance to play for their country together.
Inevitably, when I've been going through the bios of both, you know, men's and women's players, it's been mum, dad, grandma, grandpa that have kicked them off, and often at a really early age. You know, the 6, 7, 8-year-olds, and they just stayed with it.
Yeah, I think you find a lot of the players, if you talk to the younger ones, how they got into it, it's generally because their parents played. You do get some other unique stories about players, how they got involved, whether it's through school events or just walking past a bowls club and having a go one day. But look, it's a great sport. So anyone who's watching, if you haven't tried it, bowls clubs are the most friendly places in the world. So drop down to your local and just ask someone and have a go. And trust me, you get addicted straight away.
You do. A couple of Australian stars there, and Kelsey Cottrell and Jimmy Reynolds watching on. They were on show last weekend.
Wasn't it great, Jimmy?
Oh, he was playing on a different green to everybody else last week, Pat. There's Scotland at another there, couple to Scotland at the moment. And we've got to balance things out. There's the Scotland crew in the crowd as well. Aron Teys just needs this one to get down. It's just going to hang out a little. Well, it's got a fairway back. Believe that will have cut it down. Difficult for us to tell, but probably still one to Scotland, I think. And another great bowl here. Just finds the gap.
Derek Oliver, who was part of the Scotland triples team that took silver behind the Aussies just last weekend.
Yeah, it was a surprisingly one-sided affair, that one. The Australia were outstanding. You know, after that Australian triples crew had probably, it's fair to say they'd struggled to find their mojo a little bit through the tournament, but they found it just at the right moment and put on a masterful display in that triples final. And I guess that's what the qualifying rounds are about. You know, we see it in other sports, don't we? We see it often in tennis where a player scraps their way through that first week, and then when the whips are cracking, that's when they're playing the big shots.
You said, Carla, this is not a sprint, this is a marathon, this one, isn't it? Oh, look at this.
Paul Foster.
Absolutely perfect. Just nice way to sit that ball, and he's dropped in right behind the jack as well. So hasn't really given Carl much sort of anything to sit on. He's got to try and dead draw this now.
Australia's own bowl sitting on the line there, taking away any possibility of weight. So 3 to Scotland.
Even if he doesn't get the shot, he'll be hoping to at least sort of maybe get something jack high, something to work off with his next, or something to give Omar a bit of an opportunity to play a bit of touch weight. Still going.
That's a great shot.
Stay shot.
The quality has been sensational.
It's funny there because it was mixed signals from the Australians. One said one up, the other one went close.
Contact from the jack, depending on how far it goes. Just a draw there, mate. Just try a draw. If you pass it, you're good. You just lift it down. Makes it better.
Yeah, so the call there from Alex is just saying to Paul, if you can just roll that ball down, you're going to set it up for Alex then to be able to play and push that ball out of the head, where it's a trickier way to get it out of the head at the moment. So he's right in the area. How much of this bowl's he getting? Well, he's done it brilliantly.
Oh, that is superb.
Talk about calling a shot and having it played.
His master's voice.
Just get under, land the bowl, get the jack
Look
immediately,
at
real
that.
good.
Perfect contact just to get it past the Scottish bowls at the back.
Exceptional weight, wasn't it? Even if he had have missed that bowl, he was finishing in good home. So just played the good weight, got the good result. And,
Certainly was. Carl Healey, in reply, is not far away himself. Look at this. Sensational. Again, another example of perfect weight just to allow it to get down underneath the front there, but have enough carry to get a little piece of the jack and move it out to the side. 2 to Australia as they change over, but I wouldn't be counting anything just yet.
What about the roller coaster of emotions in one end? In a few minutes.
not quite have the legs this one.
Huge opportunity here now for Aron Sherriff to close right in on this jack.
Yeah,
Alex will correct with his next one and be closer.
So holding 3, the blue bowls of course belong to Australia.
It's not a bad angle to have drawn it on either, with just hampers Alex's clean run to the jack a little.
Last shot this end for Alex for Scotland.
Needs to run. Not going to. Well, these last bowls, we talked about it last week, with these last bowls when you've got opposition's got no right of reply, this is a must-add now for Aron Sherriff.
So the potential of 4 for Australia.
Nice safe line here, Carla.
Yeah. There's no risk really here. He'll be trying to get a, real confident draw. His last one only fell a foot short, so he knows he actually can put another foot on. He's just got to keep running. I think so.
He has.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big count of 4 shots to Australia.
There it is, it's a handful. 6-2, Australia leads. We're 4 ends into this pulsating 4s final here at the World Bowls Championship on the Gold Coast. Broadbeach is our location. And remember, drink wise. You won't miss a moment if you drink wise.
I could see he's let it go. I just felt whack. I can't see at all.
Magnificent day here on the Gold Coast. It sort of sets the scene for what we're witnessing here at Broadbeach Bowls Club, because this venue for the Commonwealth Games finals. Carla, you need no reminding of that in 2018.
Yes, it's very much my happy place here. I do enjoy being back at the venue. Yeah, full of great memories. So,
what was the party like after a couple of gold medals?
to be honest, I don't want to admit it, but we were so exhausted. I think there's just so much emotion and so much concentration over the 2 weeks that we actually didn't stay out very late after. I always thought, if I won 2 gold medals, the celebration would be, humongous.
Go
but
for a month.
We were just buggered, and I was rooming with Natasha Van Eldik, and we actually just ended up in our room and just sort of sat there holding our medals most of the night. We were exhausted. It's a really big emotional week, and I think these players are probably feeling it too after 2 big weeks on the green in the sun, on your feet all the time. Well,
we had some wonderful insights last week from Barry, who's been down with the crowd. He's there at the moment as we watch this men's fours final unfold, with Australia crucial end, last one, taking 4 shots to lead 6-2. Barry?
Yeah, thanks very much. It's very, very loud down here, deafening to be exact. So from one Carla to another, Carla Banks, you're Jason's younger sister, a couple of years apart. Let's talk about your relationship when it comes to playing bowls. Have you played each other before, and what's the record if so?
Haven't really played each other too much, but Jason's definitely the better bowler. So yeah, it's worth watching them playing. So we just hope he does well, and great getting to the final no matter the outcome.
It's his first big World Outdoor Championships. Talk about his preparation. What got both yourself and him as a family duo? How did you come about in terms of preparing for the quick greens and the windy conditions down here in Australia?
Yeah, we've both been here before, and Jason's played in New Zealand before, so you know what you're coming to. And Scotland, we've got a great bunch of players here, and obviously like Tatty and Foster have been here, plenty of times, and Dell as well. So yeah, great support around us.
Now you're with Mum and Dad, Angela and Colin. We'll do a little quick chat here now. How proud are you of having 2 children representing the country in the sport of bowls?
Immensely proud, yeah. Both on and off the green, to be honest. They conduct themselves very well, so yeah, I'm very proud of them.
Yeah, I was really pleased when they got the phone call on the same night. I can't remember who got it first. And then you're just waiting for the second phone call maybe an hour later. So we were in suspense for maybe an hour once the phone calls all got made.
Well, the phone calls were made. They got selected to play for Scotland in the world titles. We can see you're so happy and so proud of both your son and daughters. Carla, well done to you, and all the best with your career. And what are you predicting? Give us a bit of a deficit here. How does this game play out?
Obviously hoping for a Scotland win, so I won't say anything else than that, but come on Scotland.
There you go, Banks family cheering on Scotland.
Great stuff, Barry.
I tell you what, just the Banks family are such nice people. I mean, we saw the parents there, how excited they are. Knowing Jason and Carla, they're just such nice people, Carla.
Yeah, and could you imagine the excitement in the household that night when they both got the phone call?
So if I'm not mistaken, Colin and Angela are both international bowlers as well, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they've both been at the highest level.
They're running in the family. They're great players and great people, as I say. So, look, this match, it's really interesting at the moment because we've seen that Australia grab that one opportunity they've had so far. This is going to be about grabbing opportunity. There's Alex now with a chance just to get Scotland scoring again. By his standards, there is room for him here.
Yeah, he'll just be trying to sit inside that outside bowl. He's not far away.
He's all over it.
Oh, look at this.
Will he fall on the jack? Well, that is a great shot. That is the precision that an Alex Marshall can play with.
He's got 4 individual world titles, 7 in all, and 15 world championship medals. That's why.
So one more on the board it is. And look, there's no doubt as that bowl was coming in, Carla, the precision that Alex plays with, he would have had it in mind that if he falls on the jack, he brings those other two in.
Yeah, and he did. He played with the perfect weight to be able to just touch that jack across. But look, that was a great shot because the Australians got the 4 on the end before, and in my mindset, I'm always thinking it's not a number until you back up the next end. So, and Alex would have known if they had lost that end that the momentum really would have stuck with the Australians. So that was a big end to stop that momentum building for the Aussies.
Tell you what, the atmosphere here, Barry gave us an indication of it when he said how loud it was down there. The atmosphere is absolutely cooking at the moment.
It's great to see so many of the other countries here as well watching along. They mightn't have made the final themselves, but just looking from where we are, I can count already about 5 or 6 other countries that have come out to watch this final.
So despite them wearing the blue, Scotland are with the red bowls. Corey Wedlock at his world's debut, starting off this sixth end.
And people might ask, Pat, well, why wouldn't you match the bowls to the uniform? It is determined by the draw. And whilst that could change, if you're going to stick to the draw all the way through the tournament, you've got to do the same when it gets to the final. So determined by who's top and bottom of the draw as to which colour they use. And I've just canvassed the sky, Pat, and I cannot find a cloud.
No.
It is just a perfect day here.
Well, I can give you a little bit of locals insight here. If we do get weather, it will come from the southwest. So out over the southwest, down sort of Coolangatta way, rolling in over the mountains.
Well, it looks pretty good out there.
Right at the moment, it's crystal clear. I know. What do they say? Beautiful one day?
They do.
We've had 2 weeks of competition. I think we mentioned last weekend they got Monday off. Just got in and curl up in the fetal position, wouldn't you bowlers, after the action that you've had?
Absolutely. It's been game after game. Carla, what does the evening look like most of the time when you're in competition? Is it exactly that? Get the feet up, relax?
Look, I think the thing a lot of people don't realise about bowls is how exhausting the day is. So the players are up quite early to be able to get to the venues for the 8:30 start. So you're looking at you're up sort of 6:30, 7 o'clock. A lot of players, you see them, even this morning I saw a lot of players out walking, just getting the body moving before the day. You're on the green for three games. By the time you get back to your accommodation, there's most teams you have a debrief sort of scenario. The Australian team over the years, we've always sort of had a recovery session. So by the time you get some dinner in there as well, you're basically to bed. So it's a full, great shot there. It's a full day and it's go, 12-hour day, if not more most days. So it's exhausting. Playing lawn bowls is exhausting.
A little bit of travel involved as well. As I said, the 44 countries, which these are all records, almost 1,250 matches, 11 gold medals, 400 plus players, 140 coaches, plus all the support staff. As Australia attempt to go tit for tat, and 5 clubs being used. So here at Broadbeach, then we had Helensvale for the finals last weekend, Musgrave, Mudgeeraba and Paradise Point. So yeah, let's put our hands together for the organisers. They've managed to pull off a wonderful and huge logistical exercise.
Yeah, for the organisers and all the volunteers involved in this massive event that, you know, in a way it's 3 years late.
Yeah.
the times they've had to prepare and then for it not quite to go ahead, you know, they've done a marvellous job.
And we're not done yet, because not far away, just metres away, singles quarterfinals and semi-finals action will be going on all day here as we sort out who takes the men's singles spots tomorrow.
That is a very good field that is left in that men's quarterfinals field as well. So it'll be interesting to see who can get through to the semi-finals, which will also be played today. And then, of course, we've got that final right here for you tomorrow. So Scotland had the setup. Aaron Teys was able to get in there, albeit with a little glide off the front. Still 1 to Scotland at the moment. Healey with a chance just to nudge the jack back to their own bowl. I want this to start getting down now. Wow, look at that weight. Weight was perfect. Plenty of wildlife around here as well. All the birds, you can certainly hear them chirping away. I was just getting around the front. It is. Well, that's well played. Another bowl just nudges the jack. Hasn't changed a lot there. Still 1 to Scotland, and would have loved that to cover up the jack, but it fell off the front, so leaves Healey with a very similar shot to his last.
Yeah, just looking for maybe a 4 or 2 foot on his last.
Just didn't have the carry. That's all it was.
As the two skips await their action, Aron Sherriff and Alex Marshall, NBN. Let's go quickly down to Barry. Look, we can see the flags from our lofty position. The flags are fluttering quite strongly, but this is an arena-type effect. It's a made-for-television green, this one, isn't it? What is the effect down there?
Yeah, Pat, it's quite fluky. It's some players bowl to bowl are getting different conditions, so they might get on the mat, look down and think what's the widest side might turn into the narrower side as they're setting up. So it's playing havoc a little bit with shot selection. But one thing I'm very impressed with this match so far is the ability for the players to be able to be playing forehand, backhand, both sides of the rinks, and to be able to adjust. But we saw last end a couple of loose bowls from a couple of players, and that was purely just from the conditions. It really did fluke around. I think it's punching in under the grandstand and pushing back out onto the rink. But predominantly we're finding the ocean side, the eastern side, be the wide side, and I think players are finding that side, the kind of hand. But bowl to bowl, Pat, the conditions are changing.
Well, I tell you what, it hasn't really affected the quality one bit. The quality of this final has been outstanding. Look, it's a World Championship final, we expected, but it's been great to watch.
All right. Aaron Sherriff, bit of discussion there about what shot to play, whether or not there was some temptation to play weight to try and remove the shot bowl.
Just maybe 2 feet on your last, even get there's good.
We're yet to see any big weight played in this game so far, which is, considering the tightness of the heads, it's actually quite surprising. They've all sort of been playing that just really nice 2 foot, a yard at most conversion shots so far.
Looks like Scotland thinking just position here, looking to just get a bowl just past the jack on about a 45-degree angle past the jack was the call from Paul Foster. Probably run a little further than they would have liked, but well, this is some thoughts here to play weight up onto that bowl that you just saw the Australians put their foot next to. I think that was Aaron Sherriff's foot that we saw.
Yeah, just probably going ditch weight, deep sort of tee weight. His last weight's here. Probably just a touch more, mate.
Well, I think so. From the discussion, I think we are going to see some weight. Looking to put the blue bowl up onto the shot bowl.
Yeah, probably just gives him a couple more options of getting a result, even if he works off that wide one with that weight. He
He's
gets
close.
the ball through it.
He's close.
Gets it.
Just caught the edge.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, Scotland slowly clawing back when they drop those 4 shots on the one end. It's 6-4 Australia after 6 ends. We're here for the sponsors of the Jackaroos, Right at Home. For quality in-home care and support, call Right at Home on 1300 363 802. Our drone shot shows you just how this has been set up. It's a made-for-television green. See a lot narrower. And those spectators that have availed themselves of the earliest start here for this men's fours final at the World Bowls Championships are loving every minute of it. It wasn't hard to talk this match up. You've got two of the greatest bowlers of all time in the Scottish side, Paul Foster and Alex Marshall, and of course you've got Australia's great Aron Sherriff, skip of the Australian team, leading a side that three of the members won the triples just last weekend. But sometimes you can over-talk it, but not in this case. This has lived up to all the hype, hasn't it?
Well, it has, and you know, when we look at this, Scotland's won 4 of the 6 ends. It's just the 4. Australia scored 2 multiple scores when they've scored a 2 and a 4. But Scotland's won 4 of the ends, so they're certainly in the match. There's no question about that. And they've played the bowls to be in the match so far as well. They've done it again here. Paul Foster looks to add another here and perhaps tidy this up a bit. He's just on the outside of it.
Going to be a handy home though. It gives them something behind.
We do have some scores filtering through from the singles. Aaron Wilson leads 17-13 over Andrew Kelly. So hopefully nobody runs across the ground and interrupts that match. But 17-13 Australia over New Zealand. Ryan Bester's up 16-14 over Malaysia. Is at Zulkepla. Gary Kelly's already through. Gary Kelly from Ireland has won 21-8 over Tony Cheung from Hong Kong, China.
So this is into the semis?
Yes, this is to get into the semis, yes. And Sam Tolchard from England leads Ian McLean from Scotland 14-12. So if you're wondering how those singles matches are going, they're close. They are all quite close. Other than Gary Kelly, of course, who's already booked a place in the semis.
This is Paul Foster, MBE. I mentioned a little earlier, he's a remarkable 13 indoor gold medals.
So those indoor gold medals you're speaking of, Pat, or people will be familiar with watching Paul and Alex and some of our Australian players go at it on the blue carpet. So that's where those medals are coming from. And Paul's been a superstar of that World Bowls Tour for many years, as this is right in the zone here. How much of it's he got? Not quite enough to stay.
Great effort though. Gets one out. Possibly just one down, maybe 2.
Carl Healey silver in the 2022 Com Games in the triples.
Yeah, look, Carl's relatively new to the international scene. You know, been biding his time and waiting for his opportunity, Carla. It can be a hard team to break into.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think it's a well-known fact that there's an array of very competitive players right across Australia. So just trying to get that little break to get... Just thought he was going to sit on that last one. Just trying to get that break is sometimes the biggest challenge. Carl Healey, he's been playing in the Australian makeup for a long time. My first event as a under 25 was with Carl back when we were, you know, young whippersnippers back in the day, a long time ago now. And yeah, but he's just been around the squads for a long time. Very great player for New South Wales for a really long time, and finally got his chance and taken it with open arms, hasn't he?
Yeah, Australian Open champion as well, Carl Healey. as Aron Sherriff able to get in there and cut that down. It looked like it was somewhere between 2 and potentially 3 to Scotland as one of these helicopters flies past along the coast. Just a hive of activity here in the Broadbeach district.
Yep, carrying tourists, and of course there's rescue choppers involved in constant patrols of the beaches here. Something like 70 k's of beaches.
Alex Marshall, has he got the journey? That'll do. Well, it'll more than do, that's the shot.
Do you know what I love? These players, they let them go and they just know. Alex was on the trot almost instantly the second it left his fingers. He knew he was right on it.
We've learnt that from watching him at the BPL. If he's trotting after it, it's not far away. It just isn't, you know.
Is there anything there swinging Jack back or not really? Might just better off dead drawing.
There's risk involved in the swing shot. Firstly, okay, so they've called the swing shot now. He just doesn't want to be anywhere near his own blue bowl. And if he gets Jack, he needs it to come through clean. How is it? Just on the outside.
So we've got 2 Scotland.
Believe so.
They continue this wonderful fight back. Remembering just a few ends ago, they were down 6-2. Suddenly, after 7 ends of 15, thanks to Audica, it's 6-all.
Well, Carly, you made the point that when you get a score, when you get a score of 4, you haven't really converted it until you win the next end. The next 3 ends have gone to Scotland after that 4.
Exactly. I think that's in my mind when I'm playing. That's always the thing I'm thinking when I do manage to get a number, is to really focus on that next end, because it's not really a number until you consolidate it. And that is what's happened to the Australian team here. Scotland's been able to get the next 3 ends, and all of a sudden that 4 has just dissolved into the scoreboard.
So interesting to see Scotland's tactic here of playing a medium length end. Often when you talk about tactics of what length you're going to play, medium doesn't come into it, Carly. You often talk we're going to play short or we're going to play long.
Yeah, it was interesting. The Aussies did play on the second end that longer one, and they didn't win the end. They also then went back to sort of shorter medium as well. So it may just be that these 2 teams are aware that they both play every end's good, and perhaps let's not worry about tactics. Let's just try and play what we can get close.
I'm talking of getting close. Jason Banks does the job there.
Yeah, we met the team Banks, mum and dad, sister Carla a moment ago. Barry's got another special guest.
I sure do, Pat. Don't get much bigger than this. Rebecca Van Ash. Now, Rebecca, let's talk about the prep for the players. We see there just behind us where you're sitting, you've got a big kit there of food, and you've got some drinks there for the players. Can we talk about the preparation the players go through in terms of hydration and nutrition for a big game like this?
Yeah, well, preparation really starts like days before the actual event. So, we've been really conscious of, this has been sort of 2 weeks of playing, but it's been a 3-week campaign for us. We came in a week early, and, the players start getting conditioned even before they get in here. So, they've been really prepared for longer days, hot days in the sun, all of that sort of thing. So they're really looking after themselves, recovery of evening after the day's play, just to make sure that they're at their tip-top best, ready for the next day.
And just how proud are you of the athletes really embracing that motto now in the high-performance sector? Because the Jackaroos, one of the leaders in the world, and talk about your role and how you try and push the athletes to be better in that area.
Yeah, look, we refer to the crew as athletes because they really are that. We talk about athletes in other sports and all of the preparation that they put in, and everything that's involved with being an athlete at the high performance level. And these guys are absolutely no different to that. They're doing all the work possible to lead up to it. They don't just get to this point without putting in all the hard yards before it.
Well, thanks for your time and good luck for the rest of the day.
Thanks, Baz. Thanks, guys.
Oh, play down.
What we're seeing here is every player is capable of affecting the head with every single bowl they play. And I mean, we've seen it as Barry was talking to back there, just bowl after bowl, changing the look of things, changing rolling bowls, just, you know, turning a bowl half a bowl can make all the difference. And look at this in reply.
Oh, great shot.
Just outstanding.
This is remarkable. Remarkable.
It's the good old whatever you can do, I can do better scenario happening right now.
It certainly is. Look at that. Just perfection.
Well, they're having a good look at this too.
Looks like it might just carry outside the jack, but not far away.
The crowd, the ooze of the crowd.
Get past it. Get inside. That's real good.
He's very comfortable in this company as Derek Oliver. Won a triples and fours at the Com Games in 18 here with Paul Foster and Alex Marshall.
Yeah, he's certainly no stranger to the big stage. And this isn't far away either. Aron Teys. Oh. Well, that is brilliant. In a sense, there's a target, but they are all in a line. If you get one, you probably get the lot. It wouldn't surprise me to see some weight used at this now. Get that front bowl and all three of those bowls could go, but smiles on the rink there. You could see Alex Marshall smiling there, as almost looks like he still is. He's Carla, when you're playing in a game like this as Paul Foster, not opting to go big weight, it is actually fun, isn't it? When it's bowl for bowl and you're recognising the opposition's ability as well, it is a fun way to play.
It is, and we've got all 8 players out there playing really well right now, and you will notice a few little giggles because you just got to give credit when credit's due. The oppositions are playing well, they're playing good shots, and it seems to be spurring each other on even more. So, you know, the better Scotland plays, the better Australia plays. So, and it is good. They all know each other so well. A lot of them are played together at different times, at different events as well. So they will have a little giggle at times, which is nice. It's great to see that camaraderie between the teams. I think running for probably a little bit of cover now.
Yeah, well, the last thing Australia want to do is go and land another bowl next to those 3 and really build up a target. They're holding 3 with a look for 4. Probably is most likely 4, as you see on the screen there. 4 paddles up there on the scoreboard at the moment. The last thing they want to do is go and add another one to that and make it an easier hit. Oh, boy.
Wow.
That's a fantastic effort from Paul Foster.
2.
Still 2 to Australia.
Go back to this one, mate.
Carla, how did they decide the order? We said Carl, even though he's 36, 61 international caps. So compared to those around him, he's relatively inexperienced, yet he gets to bowl in this number 3 position, which I would have thought from an outsider is reasonably important.
Yeah, look, that's a really good question. And to be honest, you could chuck those 4 boys up in the air and land them in any position, and they would be able to play extremely well. All 4 of those guys, they skip for their home states here in Australia, so they're all really experienced skippers, and then they can come to this event and play in different positions, which is great to see. So an interesting scenario here is that Carl actually skipped the triples that won the gold medal last week, and now we see him switching roles with Omo and Omar skipping this week, which really shows the versatility of the team. I think also, and I wasn't in the selection panel when they picked that scenario, but for me, it's a real big pressure on someone to skip for 2 weeks straight. So I really think that balances out by able to swap them around, and it showed so far. They made 2 gold medal playoffs that being able to swap and play different positions can really work.
Yeah, I mean, you've had a parallel in the Jackaroos women's team in the Beck Van Ash and Natasha Van Eldik have switched positions in that skipper's role for the triples and the 4s for similar reasons.
Yeah, well, exactly. And so I'm going to take a little bit of credit if these Aussie boys managed to win 2 gold and say that, we had the same scenario back in the 2016 World Championships in the women's where Tash and Rebecca swapped in the roles between triples and fours, and we were successful and backed it up at the Commonwealth Games as well. So it just shows that maybe just taking that pressure off the skip to skip the entire week, maybe that's something beneficial.
We've been watching Aron Sherriff here, one of our finest ever 400-plus international appearances.
Try to drift down inside the last. Turn me down for a second.
Holding two, a couple at the moment for the Aussies. I think, as we look at the great Alex Marshall, I think half the crowd could well be Sherriff's mum, dad, sister, the in-laws and the wife.
Alex Marshall's close to the jack here.
Very close.
Just on the outside. Was not far away. Yeah, certainly. There's the Sherriff crew are avid supporters. If it's not in person, they'll certainly be watching on. No doubt about it.
Just reiterating, the blue balls or the blue bowls are the Australians. They're holding two with one to go, and that's Aron Sherriff with his final bowl of this end.
Big opportunity here now for Australia. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with the jack and the length that they choose to play as we see the crew there. Can he weave a way through here, Aron Sherriff? Don't know whether this has quite got the run to do it. A bit of a drought breaker there, Pat.
Yes, multi-shot in for Australia again. They take the lead 8-6 after 8 ends of 15. We're here for Henselite. Be your best with the world's best bowls. We're back. Conditions perfect here. Just right in the centre of your screen is this special made-for-TV arena for these two finals today, the men's fours and the women's. Carla, tell us about this. It's a little huddle with the Aussie team earlier.
Yeah, we see the Aussies get together in the middle of the ring, just have a little chat. We're pretty much halfway through the game now, so it's probably a good chance for them to have a chat, reset, evaluate what's been happening. I think the priority, they will sort of be talking about what length they want to go to. Nobody's really dominated on a length. Both teams are playing good on all lengths so far, so that would have been something they were talking about. It looks like they've opted just for that sort of continue with that medium length ends. Both teams playing well on it. They're obviously just backing themselves that they can play the big ones when they need on this length against them.
Yeah, we saw that last week, Barry, didn't we? In the women's fours, England decided deliberately to go that shorter length, although it really sort of played havoc, didn't it?
Yeah, it was. There was a mixture of short and long. It was that we didn't see the medium much, so it's been interesting. But there was certainly dominance of length last week, no doubt about it. The quicker green last week perhaps made a slight difference to that.
Yeah.
This green running at 16 at the start of play, it'll get a little bit quicker than that as the match wears on.
On the tee, Dale.
As I said, the Sherriffs are a famous name in Australian bowls. Mum, dad, sister, in-laws and wife. I think Barry's down there with one very nervous spectator.
Yeah, Amanda's a little bit nervous, but that comes with the territory, doesn't it, Amanda? How are you feeling, and how proud of you for Aron just to not only have a big couple of years out on the greens, but to be back playing at the World Championship level in the green and gold?
Super proud. They're doing really well.
And what about the family? Who have we got, and how are they when it comes to supporting Aron at home, and they love their dad out there representing Australia?
Connor and Zoe, they're really good, very supportive, always come with big smiles on their face cheering for the Aussie team.
And what's Aron's preparation been like? You know, it's one thing to be playing a lot of club championships and playing for Broadbeach, but to go away with the Australian squad, what's his prep been like just to try and manage things at home and you know, work life and so on?
Yeah, it's a hard balance, but I think that he's handled it well and does what he can. It's great.
And Connor and Zoe, Dad's obviously a superstar. Now, Zoe, there's something you want to do in your sport. Tell us a bit about that.
I play cricket at the moment, and I'm doing indoor training and outdoor training, and I'm doing really well at it, and I want to play for Australia one day.
Well, how good that would be to see another Sherriff out there representing Australia in another sport. And Connor, what about you, mate? What do you think about Daddy? He's pretty cool, isn't he?
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to win today?
Mm-hmm.
Off camera, he's got a lot to say. Don't worry about that. But thank you so much for your time, the Sherriff family, and good luck. Go Aussies.
Thanks, Baz. Go Aussies.
Go Aussies. Go Aussies.
Good stuff. Thank you, Barry. In amongst a sizable crowd here today.
Have I heard? I think Zoe actually goes all right with cricket as well, doesn't she?
She does. I've seen a few clips being posted on social media, and she goes really good. So.
Bang.
Good
well, we
shot.
talked about we hadn't seen an awful lot of weighted shots, Carla. Bang, there goes one.
And 9, that's the first weighted shot. I wouldn't have picked that was going to happen. We saw the women's fours, and there was a lot of weighted shots early on. Oh, he's got that perfect.
Target. Yep. No, the Sherriff family have been coming along to a lot of events. We've basically seen those kids grow up as at events. It's fantastic. They, I'm sure we've featured them dancing in the crowd at a BPL before as well. Wonderful to see. And what better way could you look at it when you hear one of the kids aspiring to play for Australia, when they've got a role model like they have that's done it for so long and done it at an amazing standard for so long.
Could have picked an easier sport. Australian women's cricket team haven't been beaten in a century.
They go all right. Yeah, they go all right.
There's that. Aron Sherriff. You'll hear the two experts to my right refer to Omar.
Yes.
It's been his nickname for a long, long time, hasn't it?
It certainly has. Can he crack past? He has just squeezed his way past.
And may I say, we do need to have a few nicknames because there is 3 Arons in the Australia. 3 out of 5 team players, and 3 of them are Arons, so it is necessary to have a few nicknames in there.
Yes, Aron Teys and Aron Sherriff involved here, and not far away in the singles.
Yeah, absolutely. Aron Wilson over there in the singles. Aaron Teys probably lost out in the nickname stakes, didn't he, really? Because he's pretty much got Teys here. It's not really that imaginative. It goes with the Australian territory. If you can't really shorten it, you lengthen it in terms of the finding a nickname.
And as you reliably informed me last week, Aron Wilson, our singles player, is...
Disco, of course.
Oh, you've got...
I'll tell you what, this is a very good line. Has he got the run? He most certainly has. What a shot, Alex Marshall.
Absolute perfection.
You can just see that bowl tracking in beautifully on the perfect surface, never in doubt. As it was about 2 metres away, you knew that it was landing right on the front of the jack.
Ditch to ditch end as well.
Super hard bowl to beat, sitting right on the front of the jack. It leaves the opposition having to draw to a jack that they can't see, which is automatically just that little bit more difficult.
Omar's following it, so he's interested. Not quite going to get there, is it?
Not quite. Now, where's this going to land? Is it? Oh, Alex will still have a draw line round that with his last, so I don't think he'll be changing anything.
Australia with a 2-shot edge, but it's about to be clawed back because there's only one bowl left here. And that belongs to Alex Marshall. Very hard for me to get out of the cricketing parlance.
It's World Bowls Championships, Pat. Think about it that way and you can't go wrong. All right, just looking to rinse and repeat here for Alex Marshall. He's out slightly wider than last time. It'll all be down to the weight. Needs to push. Don't think that quite got there.
You're an expert on these camera angles. Very, very good at it. 8-7 Australia as Scotland claws one back. We're at the end of 9 ends. The men's fours final is over 15 ends. So we're past halfway. Australia has the lead, but it's just a single shot. Just to the top right of your screen is where the singles quarterfinals are going on at the moment. We'll have the men's singles final, probably the blue riband of one of the blue riband events of these championships tomorrow. There we go. Our drone operator can do anything. Big open area of playing fields for soccer and bowls here, right in the heart of the Gold Coast, right in the middle of Broadbeach, where there's a lot of hotels. Of course, the casino not too far away with all its entertainment areas. Beautiful beaches close by. Currawa Surf Club. And of course, a very big restaurant precinct also, and shopping centre. So it's got the lot here at Broadbeach.
Jason Banks gets us underway here on the 10th end. We do have some updates from the singles. Aron Wilson leading 18-14 over Andrew Kelly. It's Australia over New Zealand. England's Sam Tolchard and Scotland's Ian McLean are 14 shots apiece. And Ryan Best are just 2 shots from victory there against Izzat Zulkepla from Malaysia, 19-14. So just a couple of shots away there. That caused all those matches to 21.
And as we've explained, for those who are just joining bowls coverage for the first time, the singles is the first to 21. This event that we're watching, the men's fours final, is the best of 15 ends. Now, at the end of 15 ends, and they're all tied up,
we go one more. We go one more if need be. Doesn't happen all that often, but yeah, no, as we alluded to last week, no splitting gold medals here. If it's level, we go to one more end to decide.
And isn't it great when it does? I love those extra ends, the atmosphere, the tension.
Well, we saw one, didn't we, at the Commonwealth Games, of course, with Alan Ryan and Christina Christic over Amy Farrow and Sophie Tolchard.
And weren't we all just glued to the TV?
In fact, as that Commonwealth Games gold medal was being decided, there was plenty of chat going on across all of the chat groups and things like that. I think, Carla, you and I spoke often via the chat during that Commonwealth Games, watching all the games go on.
Yeah, we were. It was sort of, you kind of just felt like you had to be talking. I was sitting at home on my own watching. I needed to talk to someone.
Right, yeah. Aron Teys closes in on that jack again. No, you just felt like you had to share, didn't you? Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure there's plenty of that going on right now as supporters of these two teams watch on and cheer on.
Going to be handy, just trying to get something in there.
You can get as close to that as you can. Get to there, mate. Perfect.
Nice home there for Derek. He's just popped a bowl in behind, gives Scotland the chance to trail that jack. And I think you'll find Aron Teys will be trying to match that up now. Pretty much drop a bowl in right alongside Derek Oliver's previous attempt. And like a remote control, that's a perfect position.
I just continue to marvel at the precision.
Well, you look at the angle that's on as well, and you think that the jack, if it's trailed on the forehand, is more likely to go out towards the Australian blue bowl than come straight down the line. Because of those bowls, the way they're situated close to the jack there, it's very hard to get the jack straight down the line. So it's a perfect spot for Aron Teys.
So I'll refer you to top left of screen again. The little numbers in the circles are the number of bowls left. So we've got Paul Foster and Carl Healey, the respective bowlers on the mat at the moment. Paul Foster MBE.
It's a great setup for Australia here, and this is where sometimes the game, you can look at this game and say, well, it is sport and it comes down to just getting close to the jack. Now it comes down to position, because the last thing Australia want to do is just go and land one and sit it jack high right next to the jack on the forehand here, because that will just set up a shot for Scotland.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Clive. Whilst the aim of the game is to get the most shots, you do have to really be tactical and think about it, because sometimes if you build the head up, you actually make it a lot easier for your opposition. So it's quite challenging right now for Scotland. They've got to play a really good shot to actually get the shot. So Australia's just covering, trying to set things up so that they can play a good one back.
Now you saw that shot
from right now.
Sorry, Carl, you saw that shot from Carl go all the way back near the ditch, and yet his Australian teammates were applauding. They were rapt, yeah.
So he's covered the tee in case Scotland were to play an aggressive shot and put the jack out of bounds. That ball is sitting right on the tee, and that's where the jack will be respotted to if that happens. So sometimes there's multiple spots that you're drawing to on the rink.
Carl Healey with his final bowl of the 10th end.
It's okay, no harm done there. So you saw Paul Foster's bowl just, well, ever so slightly open things up a little bit more. Be interesting to see the weight they decide to play here. It looks like Alex is going to play Alex is about perfection, and he's looking at that saying, well, I can sit that jack high bowl now and just fall in for shot.
Yeah. Paul's shot also gave them another bowl in the head. Prior to that, they only had the one in there in amongst Australia's sort of 4 to 5 blue bowls. So just give him a little bit more confidence knowing he's got 2 in there now.
So Barry, it's getting tense now. Is it the 2 champs on the mat, the 2 skips, and it's starting to get, every bowl is decisive now, isn't it?
Absolutely, Pat. Yeah, that bowl there just falling short, trying to play a dead draw there, Alex, or just try and work off that wing bowl. So the percentages there were that if Alex was high, he could work off the wing, get back to the jack, whereas forehand there was no real option of scoring. But the beauty of Scotland, even though they are 2 down, the best thing they've got going for them is the front red bowl, the last bowl of Paul Foster's. It's touching the Australian bowls, which means any contact on that red bowl, the angles won't change, and most times it should stay locked in. But the arguably the best bowl on the green right now is that early checkout marker on the back there to get to the tee for Carl Healey. So those rink smarts really come into play here, and I don't think both teams are really worried about dropping some singles. Scotland here, I don't think they'll go too big in trying to attack and open the head up for Aron Sherriff's last bowl.
Just squeezed his way through there. I think we'll see Alex play the same, but they now have a couple in there, so he might look now and say, well, forehand, he's given himself another chance with his last bowl as it's just dropped across the front there. I get the feeling they're looking a little bit more forehand now with that extra chance.
Little option to work off his first bowl now. Gives him a chance to play sort of a yard and a half of weight.
Well, he's watching it intently. This is close. What happens off these? Wow. Still 1 to Australia. It just, that angle, in a sense, to get both the Australian bowls out, he needed a little bit more weight because the Australian bowl just locked in on the other blue bowl there. And a reasonably nice shot now for Aron Sherriff to try and drop in here on the backhand without too much danger. Just with the angle of the red bowls in front. Looks like he's just on a wide line.
Happy with the one to increase the lead. 9-7 after 10 ends. We're going 15 ends here in this World Fours final. Now, this is designed to keep you moving. There'd be a few of the bowlers need this after a hectic fortnight here at the coast. And we thank Physiocrem for being involved in our telecast. We will be back.
About an inch.
Right on the take, because it's 6 inches short. And it's really Dragon's free hard.
Chugging up. John Michael.
Keep it there. Yeah.
Good. Fine. Good. Touching glass, Teys. Yeah. A bit longer. Good effort. okay? That's fine.
Across the Golden Sands. So familiar to millions of tourists each year. We're 11 ends into the men's fours final here at these World Championships. Penultimate day. It's been 2 weeks of brilliant action. Weather's been kind.
You land the ball. You land the jack. 4 feet of weight.
So Pat, we saw Australia lose the jack here. They rolled it too short. So Scotland have set this length once more and gone back to their medium length that they've been playing throughout the match. And we also have some singles updates. I can tell you that Gary Kelly will play Aron Wilson in the semi-final number 1.
So that's Ireland v Australia.
That is Ireland v Australia. Aron Wilson getting up 21-16 over Andrew Kelly. And Ryan Bester has made his way through to the semi-final as well, and he will play the winner of Sam Tolchard and Ian McLean. And the last update we had, there was only one shot in that as they draw close to the end of that one. So we are assured of an amazing couple of semi-finals in the singles, and as a result, it'll be an amazing final as well tomorrow.
From our commentary position, I can look across at that green. Nice crowds over there as well, and we're near capacity here. Not too many seats around this green in this made-for-TV arena. 9-7 Australia over Scotland.
Just on the outside there with weight.
Red bowls belong to the visitors.
I think we'll see Australia trying to change this head up a little bit. They won't want to leave that opportunity again. I can't see Paul missing that, so they'll be trying to just touch the jack, tuck it into those blue bowls.
Yeah, the perfect shot just pops the jack down right in between those two bowls in a line, doesn't it? And get the jack into that line, hide it away. Jack high bowls look quite good from a spectator point of view, Carla, but in actual fact, often they set up targets, don't they?
Yeah, they look good for the spectators, but they also look good for the opposition. You know yourself, if someone puts a jack high one, you're like, yep, that gives you the confidence. You can reach a little bit, and you make sure you get there because you know you can land it or touch the jack.
Well, not quite going to get the change they're after. Perhaps another foot of weight required there for Carl, but will it still be there? Because Paul Foster is going to look to land that bowl, no shadow of a doubt. Maybe not the weight that we saw from Derek's second bowl there.
I was going to say, I wouldn't be surprised if he plays more of a weight, that if he missed, he stays on and gives them another back one.
Yeah.
They have only got 2 roundabouts, so they will want to be relatively careful. They don't want to take one of those out and leave themselves with one in the head.
Barry, we're at that position now as Carla and Clive are telling us where the tactics are critical.
Yeah, we've got a really good view of this one. So Carl Healey just a little bit tight on that one. He's actually hidden the Scottish bowl now, so that's not really a threat for Scotland now to worry about taking their own bowl out. So that will really dictate any kind of weight they want to play. So Paul Foster, I think he'll be trying to really get the jack out of here, or both bowls. He's on the tighter side. Well, he's well under. He needs to be careful. Doesn't want to take his own bowl out. So, yeah, that Scottish bowl now is vulnerable again. So, as you see, the percentages in there, Australia plenty around it. And the unfortunate part of shifting that front bowl creates another element to this head where that Scottish bowl is now wide out in the open.
Yeah, I'd be surprised to see Scotland play that same weight again. They can still play that reach at a land, but that big weight again, as Barry just pointed out, looks very dangerous for them now. In essence, they're probably only one worse off if that does go. There's every chance that their other bowl is, and you've got the blue and the red past the jack there that are fairly similar in terms of distance away from the jack. Weight again.
Better line this time.
Needs to clear the front. He has. Great shot. Well, he's going to follow that in and sit right alongside it. Unfortunately, you can see the boundary peg there, so that won't that won't work. But the jack goes back on the spot. Perfect connection there. Got the split between both. Would have loved that to stay in bounds as he goes and sits right next to it in the ditch.
Plenty of room now for both the skips, so really we're looking at a 2-bowl shootout.
Two gentlemen to the left of your screen. What a formidable combination they've been. Paul Foster and Alex Marshall. In 2012, were the first duo to win the world outdoor and indoor world titles.
As good as it gets, they are, Pat, there's no doubt about it. And we talked about that with the triples win for Australia. It's great to win a world title. Then you look at who you beat to do it, and you say it doesn't get much better than that, you know. Well, Alex has proven that he knows the weight tee to tee here. He's done it earlier in the match. And this is crucial now for Scotland. They were really looking to win this end at 2 shots behind. Only 4 to play after this.
Come on,
Alex Marshall.
He's done it again.
Look at that. Not bad, that. Not bad at all.
Still got one left, but this will be the last for Aron Sherriff.
Can't really use weight because if he gets the Australian bowl out, he hands Scotland essentially 3 shots.
Back yourself, mate.
Okay, back yourself. I think that means weight.
With you, mate. Where do you want to play?
He does have a line in there on the forehand.
Like backhand. Must see
Wow.
track down there.
All right, well.
We know it's going to tighten up further. That's assured.
Well, I think we'll be very surprised if this doesn't count. Having just done it once. I think what we saw there was Aron Sherriff tight because he didn't want to be anywhere near his own bowl as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Alex is not happy with this.
Commentator's curse, Clive.
It could well be. It does appear that I got him. Well,
just the one.
It can affect the greatest, apparently.
And there's just the one in it now. We're 11 ends in. There's 4 to go, and Australia lead 9-8. Doesn't get any tighter, does it? Sure. It's just been fantastic to watch.
It certainly has. It's been bowl after bowl.
Stop, Jay. Good.
Hi, Corey. Back to you, mate.
See? Settle now. Settle in. Wait, wait.
Hang Dale. Big effort here. Very good, Dale. Up, Dale. Right up, Dale. Hurry, yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
We're at Broadbeach on the Gold Coast, and it's the penultimate day of finals in the World Bowls Championship. 2 weeks of brilliant action here. Over 1,200 matches contested, teams from 44 countries, and we're watching the absolute best of the best here in the men's fours final. Scotland speared up by Paul Foster and Alex Marshall, MBE. They had the red bowls.
Two bowls, mate. You kill it.
Looks like we're going to see weight from Derek Oliver. Solid weight it is. Just on the outside. Caught the edge for no result. And we can confirm, well, our Scottish viewers will be happy because Ian McLean has booked his place in the semi-finals of the singles competition. He'll play Ryan Bester. And Gary Kelly will play Aron Wilson. That is a very good set of 4 players to be in this semi-final.
That's loaded, isn't it?
Go on, make a prediction, Clive. Who's going to take the gold medal?
Wow. Well, Aron Wilson and Gary Kelly was the Commonwealth Games singles final, wasn't it? So that's not going to be the final because they meet each other in the semi. Oh, look. I'm going to stick with Aron Wilson, which sounds like I'm being patriotic, but
that's okay.
He's a very hard man to beat on these greens. But it wouldn't surprise you for any of those players. I mean, Ian McLean's just beaten Sam Tolchard, who was the world champion of champions last year, Carla.
Yeah.
You would have seen that firsthand.
He was. I did. I saw he played it absolutely screaming last bowl to take out, game down, took out the shot from the Malaysian who was holding the world title. So, yeah, he can play some good shots when they're needed. So, great win by Ian.
Carla, just talk to us through the difference of the Northern Hemisphere greens as opposed to Australia's.
Yeah, for those who are in the Northern Hemisphere right now, you'll be noticing that our greens are quite a bit quicker than what you would usually see. Yeah, they're underfoot a lot firmer, so naturally that makes the greens run a bit faster. So we're more accustomed to greens running between sort of 14 to 18 here in Australia, where that would be considered very quick overseas. So New Zealand, similar to us, they even probably get quicker greens than we do. You don't very often see anything under 15 when you go over to New Zealand, and it's not uncommon to see something up around the 18 or more if the wind gets behind it.
With the wind going a 2, yeah.
Yeah, for a lot of the Northern Hemisphere countries, this is quite foreign to them, but you notice everybody by week 2 they've really settled in and found a good rhythm on this pace regardless of where they're from.
Well, the red ball came up there. Not sure whether that's affected the count. It might only be 1 to Australia now. I think I heard Alex say 1 down.
Hold a bit back. Swing very good place here anyway.
Same ball, mate. Draw a touch up.
No, that's a very handy spot for the Scots just to take away some of the damage if the jack moves, but there's a nice shot on here. Carl Healey just to play a nice confident draw shot through the jack, nudge it back for 3 or 4 with a nice little reference bowl on the outside. He's in the picture. That's well played. Could have made as many as 4 there. It was bowl or jack, either one was going to do the job. Played perfect weight for it.
Boys were happy with that, meeting him up the green, giving him a high five.
All about the weight there, because he had the perfect weight to roll the bowl, but he didn't have too much. That if he got to the jack, it was still going to be a useful trail of the jack as well.
Little wonder there's a smile on the face.
Yes.
We're creeping ever closer to the 15th end.
We're at that point, Pat, where one bowl could make all the difference here. One score could equal a gold medal. Alex Marshall will be playing something similar to Carl Healey's last shot, just looking to nestle in here and land on something. He's very close. He's got the jack. Well, it's much better than that. Yeah, just cuts it back to one. Beautifully played. Couldn't have done an awful lot more. His best result was probably just missing the jack and sitting on the back bowl, but still got a nice target to play to with his last, so it'll be interesting to see. I think you'll have both players playing down here on this back end. Aron Sherriff can't afford to stay away from this, can he, Carla? He needs to get in there.
Yeah, he knows he needs to change something. He was quick to the mat, quick on it. He knew exactly what he wants to do. He's trying to get it to bend back.
Good. All right. He's amazing. Huh?
Alex having a look at sort of both sides there.
They're just perhaps feels in the air when Alex Marshall special here of drawing down right onto the front of that jack. Just feels like it's in the air. I got him last end though, so we'll see.
I was a little tongue-in-cheek with the Fort Knox jibe early in the show, but have a listen. I mean, this man has 4 individual world titles, 7 in all, and 14 gold at World Indoors, 5 Commonwealth Games gold medals. Where does he put them all?
He does it when it counts, Pat. Oh, I think he's underdone here. Just for line more than anything. Yeah, his weight's all over it, he said. Just for line, look at that.
He's still got 1 bowl remaining. Aron Sherriff will bowl first.
Definitely getting it, but it's not getting much. Nah.
Boys are just having a look. There's only really 1 Scottish bowl in there, so just having a look at if there's an option to try and sit it out. Angles may not quite work.
Yeah. Come on, mate. No rush here.
Is there anything no good there? Is there that much wrong on that end?
No more left for Alex on this end. I don't think.
Want to get that and kill where 4 on the clock.
Scotland won the previous end, so Australia will have last bowl here.
So you ignore that graphic top left right at the moment. Sherriff.
Scotland have 11 bowls left, I don't think. Well, this could work. That works nicely.
11-8. How important will that be?
Well, that's again that adding a shot when you get the opportunity, when the opposition hasn't got anything left, can't answer back. They're crucial. You know, you can get 4 or 5 shots that way in a match, and you know, you lose a match by 1 shot or you win it by 1 shot, and it's come down to exactly that.
Barry, the Australians have kept their nose in front nearly all contest, but when we look at the score, 3 in it, it can change in a twinkling. So they say in the classics, it ain't over yet.
There's only one thing separating both teams right now, Pat, and that is N4 of this match, the multiple. So we talked a lot about, especially in the live stream games over the last few weeks, how games can be separated by simply 1 multiple or a heap of multiples. All players performing well, all players playing their best, both countries going toe-to-toe, but one end separates this match, and that is that multiple. And that on that particular end, Scotland did hold 4, then went 4 down. So it just goes to show how quickly an end can change and what impact it has on a match. But just going back to that previous end there before Aron Sherriff played his last bowl, Carl Healey was chatting to Aron about what shots were available, and Corey Wedlock, the lead, which I absolutely love in this team environment. The lead chimed in, yelled out to Aron, if you get the split wrong, we're 4 down on the tee. And then Aron went back and tried to draw the shot. So sometimes there's just some information that is created, but sometimes not spoken about, and it's great to see all team members contributing to shot selection, and not only just with their good bowls, but with their play off the mat.
It's a really good point that Barry makes, and we see that discussed a lot on online forums and things like that. Should the lead have something to say? If I'm playing skipper and the lead sees a danger like that and doesn't say anything, what culture have we got in our team? I mean, so absolutely, if the lead sees some danger that hasn't been spotted by perhaps the skipper or the third, speak up. I'd hate to hear that they spotted that after the shot was played, and
Yeah, absolutely. And I mentioned earlier, all 4 of these players in the Australian team, they all skip and are very accomplished skips back in their own. So they all have value to add to the shot selection. And this team would have had debriefs prior to even coming into camp for this event, and talked about what plans they had tactic-wise and what involvement all the players would have had in shot selection. And it may be their plan also that they were going to involve Aron and Corey in the selection of shots.
I can also back up Barry's comment about winning the big score count. The big score count, I count as 4 shots or more either way. You win that by 1.
Yep.
Stats say about 75% of games you win by winning that big score count.
Another bowl dropping a little bit short on this end. Making it a bit tricky to get in there now.
You get the message? Or?
Scotland have won 7 ends to 5 in this match, but they've only had 1 score of more than 1. Australia has had 4 scores of more than 1. Close to the jack, all of it. Great shot, Aron Teys. And you just got a feel for how much this crowd has grown through the match as they went up with that one.
Yep, there's definitely running out of seats in front of us here. And the crowd knows it's getting close.
What a reply this is. Look at that. Brilliantly played. Jack movement.
Offline.
Derek Oliver, all of his experience showing in that bowl.
Just played perfect line to get around that short bowl of Aron's there.
Derek Oliver, part of that silver medal team behind the Aussies in the triples last weekend. So, like his 2 esteemed teammates, Paul Foster and Alex Marshall, desperate for a little revenge before they drop the curtain here in Broadbeach.
No doubt. Carl Healey can afford to play confidently here. I'm not sure about the weight. How much has he got? It's still coming. It's still coming. Oh, what a shot.
Anything you can do?
Well, I was thinking he had the chance of just rolling the blue bowl up. Didn't need to. Snuck his way round. Foster and Marshall. And as good as Scotland's got to offer, and as good as the world's got to offer, but they trail by 3. 3 ends to play, including this one. Perhaps pushing up underneath the Australian blue bowl now. Looking to land or trail. He's very close. What's he got?
Oh,
wow.
Gosh.
Incredible. Incredible. Pick the gap. Even made contact with the Australian bowl, but not enough, and removes the Scottish closest.
You wouldn't have really thought there was any risk playing that shot, but he's just somehow managed to, the Australian bowl roll back and he's collected his, so they're now 2 down and plenty of room for Carl to
cover.
I was going to say he's not going to add another, he's covering. Much smarter than my option.
Does need this to pull up. Does need it to pull up, and it has. Well, if you're being critical, you'd say Paul Foster might have had just slightly too much weight, and that's what allowed him to get that bad result. But, jeepers, he was very unlucky.
How often have those two been in consultation over the years? Paul Foster, you look at his record, he's been winning big events for almost 3 decades. And, of course, Marshall, as we well know, the second of the MBEs in this Scottish foursome.
There's so much experience. The job here for Paul Foster now is to get as close as he can. Try and minimise the damage and then let Alex Marshall go to work.
He's going to keep running.
We'll do enough for second.
That's a good effort.
The key there was to beat that front bowl of Australia and at least get it down to 1 so that Alex can try and work something through. If he doesn't do that, then Alex is walking to the mat 3 down probably.
Yep.
Knowing that Aron Sherriff's got first crack for the skippers.
He's on the move, the Australian skip.
She needs this to finish off now. It's not going to, but it is going to block the path a little. Now, it's an interesting one because there's not much of a line there for Alex on his backhand, but he's got all of the enemy for him coming in on the forehand.
Carla, they're locked in bitter battle at the moment, but I'm just reading through Alex's bios. Aron Sherriff is one of his most admired rivals in world golf. In world polls, I should say.
Yeah. I wonder
well, they might be both their golfers too, I'm not sure.
They probably have over the years had a game of golf against each other. We'll have to find that out. Isn't it good to see like 2 of the best players in the world and they're both each other's idols? I love that.
The respect they have for one another is immense. Yeah. What's the decision here?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he's decided. It's not an easy shot either way. He tends to back his dead draw when he's in trouble, so...
It's an end that Scotland really must win. Well, he's looking for the jack, I think, is he? He's looking to find the gap.
Ball, maybe?
Looking for the gap for the jack. What a shot.
Wow.
What a shot, Alex Marshall. Wow. That is perfection. It wasn't really a draw line, so he said, well, why don't I just run one through that gap and grab the jack? Absolutely brilliant.
What scenes here at Broadbeach?
Boys are having a good look here.
With a chance to reply.
You've done well here, mate. You've done really well here.
He's got second shot.
That's to limit the hemorrhaging.
Well, Alex Marshall knew Scotland had to win that end. So he's played a bowl. He said, well, if I run into one of the Australian bowls, it gives me a look for the next one. And if I get that gap, it's game on. And can he add another here? Last bowl of this end. 2 to play after this. And a free shot for Alex Marshall. Can he weave a path that doesn't look good out of the hand? There is still a path. And crash. Well,
I can tell you that most of the quarterfinal singles action has been complete, and they have all moved over here now. There's standing room only around this made-for-TV green, and why wouldn't it be? There's 2 ends left. Australia lead 11-9, and we thank our great friends at Audica, the official hearing partner of Bowls Australia. In the heart of Broadbeach, surface paradise not too far away, the focal point of the glitter strip, famous beaches, oh, probably the best part of 60 or 70 metres away, that's all.
That's it. And they would have heard the roar as Alex Marshall picked up that jack. You would have heard it down on the beach, that's for sure. Honestly, he doesn't get that shot, and Australia have a 4, maybe 5 shot lead with 2 ends to play. Now it's 2 shots the difference, 2 ends to play. Scotland know if they win those 2 ends, well, at worst we're going to another end. That was just a huge shot from Alex Marshall, and he's done it time and time again. Who can get to this jack first now? Jason Banks just a little quick with his first, still handy. Corey Wedlock will look to take this opportunity. He too is just going to track just a little bit past the jack, but that's a great opening bowl. Any rules in the Jackaroos outfit, Carla, for not moving on once you take your seat on the sideline? We hear that a little bit with the cricketers and things like that. Do you have to stay put?
No, I don't think there is any rules, unless I just didn't know about them. No, you'll often find, like, obviously we had earlier Aron Wilson also playing out on the other green, so quite, probably half were out there, half supporting this. You do tend to find that the poor singles player, they're out there on their own, so there was a lot of Aussie Jackaroos over there. Now they've all converged over here, so...
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think most bowlers are such nervous watchers that you don't actually see them sit still for too long. We're better players than watchers.
Derek Oliver now with his opportunity to place his mark on this end. He needs it to push.
He's still waiting for somebody to nail the jack on this end.
The draw line's just been covered off a little bit by those 2 bowls in front. Still a draw around them. Just going to mean it's going to have to be perfect weight to get round them and stay on the jack. Whereas Scotland have perhaps got that extra, the little life, if you like, if they do run into one of those bowls, and that's okay. Well, this is going to come round to a nice home. Just nestle its way into those blue bowls.
Carla, I marvel at their speed with so much pressure on now and so much at stake as we come to the end of this wonderful final, that they just get up there and they just deliver, don't they, with lightning speed.
Yeah, some of these boys, they are quite quick on the mat, but they do the same thing all the time. That's the key. So if that's their pace always, then they're still going to be doing the same sort of great shot there by Teys. He's come around that front one.
Sometimes thinking about it for too long is more dangerous, isn't it?
Another who benefited from a lot of family love. Started as a 6-year-old, Aron Teys. His granddad, his aunt, his uncle, all involved in the sport.
Dad lives across the road from the club, so yeah, he's not far away. Now, nice confident shot available here for Scotland to push up their own bowl or get past and sit the blue. Paul Foster. Well, that's opened things up big time for Scotland. Australia now. I think you'll find Carl Healey looking to just get a little nudge of that jack down the line and hide it away a bit. What a final we've seen. Comes down to these last couple of ends. Carl Healey just looking to get that jack to a little bit more safety. pretty much a draw shot with the trail being the bonus. Doesn't want contact there. Okay, just a little edge. It all comes down to just playing the weight they want to play here, Carla, doesn't it? I mean, really, it's just pick your weight.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's nice when your skip gives you that option to pick the weight yourself with the sort of set weight that has to be played. It's sort of, sometimes you're feeling a bit quicker, or sometimes you're missing those, so you do want to just play a couple of yards. So it's given Paul the option to sort of pick his own weight here.
Can be just play whatever comes out, can't it? Just
whatever you
see
feel.
it and play it. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, he's under with still a chance.
Oh, gosh.
Wow. Well, you won't see any of the Scottish players clap that. They'll understand that that was a lucky result. But
Barry, we'll chop to you if we can and just see what were your thoughts on that last shot. Probably not the result that the Aussies were hoping for. It's part of luck in our game, isn't it, Barry?
Yeah, absolutely, Carla. Yeah, didn't see any jack movement happening there. The reason Paul Foster played backhand is because he didn't actually want jack movement. He wanted to go directly for the shot bowl through Australia's second nearest bowl to actually make a 4. It was lined up perfectly for Paul to get both bowls for 4. Didn't quite happen. They're playing that weight because of the luxury of that backest bowl. Carl Healey here can elect to go for both bowls or just try and get something in there, something that Aron can work with. But yeah, definitely a fortunate result there as Paul was playing backhand away from the head and away from his front bowls, but still back edging the jack. And Carl just looks to be slightly free here, needs to pull up. But Australia have a nice little pocket of bowls to play to.
yeah, that backhand side, there's still an opportunity for Australia to nudge that jack back sort of into the area where it was.
Yeah.
And collect a number, but yeah, huge impact in the match.
We know in every game a little bit of luck comes into it at times, and one of the important things for these top bowlers is also to be resilient when that luck goes against you, is to not let it bring you down and to keep your head up and to try and fight back from that. It's easy to let it really frustrate you. We've all done that before, so the Aussies have just got to be resilient here. And
I think Alex was playing more to that Australian blue bowl just to try and land it or get past into that pack and give them a little bit more representation if the jack moves. But right now, Aron Sherriff needs to come up with a big shot for Australia. He's starting to get down. Aron Sherriff. Well, that could be second shot. Looks like the signals from Australia were one down. A great shot from Aron Sherriff. Yep, one it is to Scotland at the moment. And they really can't afford, the Scottish can't really afford to play too much weight looking for that bowl because it is in front of jack. And a little nudge of the jack sideways and that would be nearly game over if that happens. So the problem for Scotland is that Aron Sherriff's still got a bowl left, he can play off his own and get down to that jack now.
I'd be really concerned. I think they'll be concerned that Omar can play a really big shot and win the game here. So they may be looking themselves to cover that. Maybe have a look if they can change the head, but it's a bit of a tricky one for them.
Well, it'll come with risk for Aron Sherriff too, because if he does play that shot and find a way to chip the blue out without getting the jack, although that looks unlikely. It does look very likely that if he can find just the edge of that bowl, he can get down to the jack and trail it for as many as about 5 or 6 there if it went to the perfect spot.
And he only needs sort of 2 foot of weight to get that jack to that spot where all their balls are huddled together.
All right, well, Alex Marshall to play his last. We know that Aron Sherriff still has one to play.
The ultimate here would be a back hopper.
I tell you what, Alex Marshall, is he going with it? He has, but this sets up an opportunity for Australia. It's a great bowl. However, it has left a massive target right now. Aron Sherriff can sit that bowl for 4 shots.
To turn.
Well, even if he gets down to Jack, it'll help. What's he got? Well, I don't know.
Not even you're going to declare.
No, I think it might still be 1 to Scotland, but there won't be much in it. You'll be wary of that side-on bowl.
We're pulling out the tape measure here, I think.
The bowl in front of the Jack has an advantage here on what you look at. It's just a matter of how much.
So we haven't seen much of this today, but just explain this. They chop the bowl?
Yes, so just make sure there's no movement of the bowl as they measure. Once the end's finished, then there can be no more movement. And now we check it out. And this is crucial. This is either a 3-shot lead to Australia or a 1-shot lead to Australia right here. This is a massive measure. Steady hand with the caliper. We'll wait and see what the outcome is. And I think from that it's going to be 1 red. 1 red it is.
There's 1 in it. We told you that these were the best of the best in men's bowling, and it is panned out that way. There's 1 end left, maybe 1 end left. It's 11-10 to Australia, and little wonder that APIA are so heavily involved in this great sport. APIA, they are the go-to insurance for retirees. Call 13 50 50. Get set, go. And I can tell you on the eastern side of this mini arena, everyone's got their APIA caps out because it's quite warm here at Broadbeach.
Certainly is. So I guess now the situation is, Carla, it's a 1 down in that situation means that Aron Sherriff now has last bowl.
Yeah.
He'll be hoping he doesn't have to play it, because you want last bowl, then you hope to not have to play it.
No, you're exactly right. So yes, Scotland do get to dictate the end here, the length that they want to play, but last bowl's pretty crucial and pretty big right now. So yeah, that has worked into Australia's favour here.
I mean, it's a tough one, isn't it? You'd probably rather have the 3-shot lead.
Yeah, yes. and look, Scotland haven't been able to get a multiple, so that 3-shot lead would have been quite handy for the Australians. But isn't this what we wanted? Right down to the last end, maybe even the second last end. We're not quite sure yet. 9 ends to 5 in favour of Scotland, but they trail on the board by 1. If they get that 1, we go to overtime for a world title. Great start here by Corey.
Well, both teams will be happy with their first bowls. You know, Jason Banks just in behind the Jack, ready to receive any trail. Corey Wedlock with the shot. Oh, this is a fair correction from Jason Banks. Brilliant shot.
Should be pretty happy with that on such an important end.
Tell you what, the smiles on the faces of the crowd, they know that they've been treated to a spectacle here. Well, down on a tighter line here for Corey Wedlock. Is he going to hold on enough for some Jack? Not quite. There's a nervous tension about the crowd right now. You can feel it.
Yeah.
There's a nervous clap there of that bowl.
You feel it for the players, don't you? I think you're more nervous when you're sitting and watching. You just understand the enormity of the moment that these players are in right now. They're all in game face right now. They're probably not as phased as the people that are sitting in the crowd watching it and us up here.
Yeah.
Barry Lester is in the crowd watching. He's part of this commentary team. As I said, an all-star commentary team. Carla Krasanik joining us for this final weekend. Twice a world champion, twice a Commonwealth Games champion. The voice of bowls in Australia, Clive Adams, joining us as well. As I said, Barry Lester down right beside this green that is now circled by fans. The singles quarterfinals in the men are over, and everyone has come to this mini arena. It's made for TV, this area, and Barry, they are witnessing quite the show.
Yeah, it's all happening down here, Pat. Well, that bowl is still shot, but that's more exposed now, that bowl. It's standing up, which means it's more vulnerable to be moved with less weight, which is probably going to favour Australia because they don't want to be playing too much weight into the head and shifting their nearest bowl out. But just keep an eye on that tee. I'm very confident that it's going to end up with playing some kind of weight from both teams here. This one here needs to tap the front, but just keep an eye on that tee. As it stands at the moment, Scotland do have the tee, but they don't want to make this a target, a bigger target. So more than likely, as we see Paul Foster gesturing there, they're going to try and get to that shot bowl before Australia do, and even lay it down would be a good result.
How's the tension down there, Barry? Can you feel it? I can feel it up here.
Of course, yeah, I'm feeling it. You know, I've been fortunate enough to be right there in this position 7 years ago. You know, in the fours final, and yeah, it's all mental now, and it's just breathing and just using all the things you've done in your training and your prep. But communication, I feel, you don't want to shut up shop. You want to keep communicating with your teammates, keep positive, great positive body language, and back each other in, and take your time. If there's ever a time you can just follow the process and take your time, as we see a little rig chat here, communication, take your time, and then back yourself in.
It's interesting looking at where that last bowler, Paul Foster, landed. In a sense, there's already Scottish bowls there. It almost would have done him. It would almost would have been better if he didn't finish there and finish somewhere else, because, as Barry alluded to, there's a fair chance to be some jack movement here yet, with the potential to sit a bowl or move the jack. And he just sort of sat with bowls that are already there, so it'd be interesting to see what Scotland does with their, well, what Paul Foster does with his last. The problem is Scotland know they can't just leave that sitting the way it is, because Australia's got plenty of shots at sitting that bowl colour.
4 chances to sit that bowl. There's no way that they would miss 4 times. So yeah, Scotland know that they need to change something up there, and yeah, Carl just having a little good look, then just deciding what weight he wants to play. They're conscious of they don't want to kind of accidentally tuck it into all those Scottish bowls, so a little bit more weight to sort of trail it away.
Well, we've been talking about Scotland needing one. Of course, if Scotland get more than one, they can still win the title right here.
Yep.
Carl Healey. Well, he's got to the bowl by the look of it. Great shot.
They love that, the Aussies.
Confident shot.
We've got 3 bowls each left in regulation play.
Feels like we need a drum roll at the moment, Pat.
Few better men to be entrusted. Paul Foster, MBE.
We've got the stars of the sport playing for a world title right now. It doesn't get any better than this. Paul Foster just on the outside again. So it's going to take some Alex Marshall brilliance for Scotland. He's got 2 bowls left.
Yeah.
So, with your trained eye, Carla,
I think.
What are we holding?
Look, what are we holding? I think it's 2 there. It's sort of irrelevant for us whether it's 1 or 2. I think key for Carl is to somehow try and get to those back bowls. If we drop 1, Australia's still in the game. They drop 2, they lose it. So key will be to try and predict what is going to happen with Alex's bowl.
What are you saying, Mr. Adams?
Well, I think Carla's right. He's got to try and get round and get something around these red bowls behind the jack, because at least then you make them move it in a particular direction to get the win. Knowing that when you get to a jack on this surface, the jacks do roll a considerable distance. So I think they've got to get as close into that pack as they can, but it probably has to be forehand. The danger forehand is if you roll the blue ball up and it touches jack, it's going to sit in that pocket just waiting for it. So it's dangerous either way to try and get to where they need to get.
Yeah, I think the boys are also considering whether they get back, so that if Alex does get the jack into those, then Omar's got the option to run at it and kill it.
And that's where it matters whether it's one or two.
Yeah, yep. Too many options here. It's kind of a bit of Tatslotto trying to predict ahead what the opposition will play.
I don't think we've really seen a signal as to how many it is. My gut feel is it's only one, but we haven't actually seen that signalled. Well, he's on a good line. First step here, he's on a really good line. Now they want it to get as far over as possible. That's handy. A really good bowl.
Oh, the tactics.
Well, he couldn't do a lot better with that. You could see the safe line that he had to be on. Didn't want to be anywhere near that front blue bowl. And then you can see Aron Sherriff hoping that it would get as far over. If he didn't get the little edge, it probably would have been in an even better spot. Here we go. Alex Marshall's got 2 chances to change his match. Here's one of them. He's going to need this to hold on a bit now. He's got the gap. Wow. Any little edge off that bowl and he was right down to the jack. And he's found the gap.
You were breathing in for the entire journey.
Oh, I couldn't say a thing, could we?
So, the great Alex Marshall has 1 bowl left. The Australian skip, the great Aron Sherriff, has a couple.
What do you do if you're Australia? You're the greatest of all time, trying to win the game against you. I think he's got to cover the kick at the jack sideways now. Maybe on the backhand side, try and draw around and land one in there. He's going to the tee. He's going to the tee.
I like that. I mean, it gives him an option if
Alex does get it. Yep.
Yeah, if Alex does get it, it means he can run at it and play any kind of weight he wants.
That's a really good call, Carla, because he couldn't have done that otherwise with nothing back there.
So if you wanted anybody in the world to be playing this ball right now, I think this is the man.
Yeah. Here we go.
This to try and change the fate of the gold medal. 1 bowl left for Alex Marshall. He's on the march.
He's going to need to start getting down now. Is he going to land the back and fall back for shot? Well, has that done enough for shot?
Carl's put his finger up. I think he's confident. Australia think they have it.
And they have.
Okay.
Australia are world champions. What a match.
It's great to see them all cuddling each other, both Scotland and Australia. They realise what a fantastic game. Meant so much to both teams. And
what it does mean is that Corey Wedlock, Healey and Aron Sherriff are now dual gold medalists of these titles.
What a performance. Seth, well done.
Three on debut. Wedlock, Teys and Healey all on debut at the World Championships. Admittedly, we haven't had a world titles for 7 years because of COVID. but they have milked it to the nth degree, have the Australians here, taking the triples, and now this morning in a pulsating final for the men's fours, Australia emerges triumphant.
Yeah, massive round of applause, both from the players and the crowd for Scotland. But I'm going to start with you, Teys. You've joined the club, mate. You've got the gold medal. How are you feeling? I should have brought some tissues with me, mate. Talk us about how you're feeling right now.
I don't even know. I'm speechless. I don't know. It's bloody pretty good feeling. We've had a really good, solid campaign leading into this, and we put in a lot of hard work in that Kiwana fours, the Matador fours, and then the whole way through. And we've not trying to be smart, but we've been undefeated the whole way through. So, I think this is pretty handy foresight.
And Carl, mate, the fourth end, you picked up a 4 down there. Aron called you to trail the jack, work off the wing there. You were 4 down, you turned it into a 4, held on to get that 4, and that was pretty much the difference in the end.
I don't put anything down to the difference in the end. They're a world-class side, and you never know what's going to come from them. So at the end of the day, you can only play the best bowls you can, cover in the right areas. As you saw from the last couple of bowls from Taddy, we were never a certainty. He was so damn close. No, it's just amazing with these boys to get through that. That's great.
Corey, mate, you wear your heart on your sleeve. You absolutely live and breathe for lawn bowls, mate. Back-to-back gold medalist. You've done it with some of your best mates. Teys, you both play down there at Warilla, mate. Who do you want to thank and who do you want to give a shout-out to? I know you're very emotional. There's been a lot going on in your life the last 12 months.
Obviously over the moon. Obviously pretty happy for Teysy, my best mate, to get his first. Just over the moon.
Homer, you've had so much success on this green. 5 times you've won the Australian Open singles. You looked comfortable out there. Just want to touch on the opposition as well. Tell us a bit about the performance, first of all, for the Australian boys, but then touch on the opposition. I know you've had some great hit-outs against them over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Teysy said, we've put a lot of time and effort. We've had lead-up events. Thank you to Broadbeach and Kiwana for the opportunity to play your tournaments and and have that experience together to get us through these tough times. So, look, the boys were fantastic the whole way through. Scotland. I said it in the triples. We stood on the podium against those guys, getting silver medals so many times. It's nice to get a couple back, and we've had a huge support, home greens, home club, over the moon. Thanks to everyone at home that was watching, and the crowd was amazing. So we'll be off to celebrate and cheer home disco, and hopefully he can do the job tomorrow.
Well played. What a phenomenal performance. Neck and neck all game. You thoroughly deserved it. Back-to-back gold medal for Australia. World champions.
Yeah, boy.
One of the advantages of a home World Championships means that so many of the family and friends are accessible and they'll be here. So you'll see kids, you'll see everyone wanting to be a part of this moment as they get a shot for the annals, and then you'll see them swamped, I'm certain, by all their Australian teammates and their families. Because after all, it was their families who started them off in this sport, and they have reached the pinnacle here on a beautiful, beautiful morning at Broadbeach. A final that went just over the 2.5-hour mark, and every second of it was just a joy to watch.
Well done, Corey. Well done, world champ. And go, hey.
Our world champions. We'll be back.
See you, coach.
Celebrations continue. Great respect between the teams here, and we see that here. We're just taking a couple of edited highlights, but we saw firstly the embrace between the two fours. They've known and they've played against each other for many, many years, but they just love being in each other's company, I think, don't they?
Absolutely, Pat. Yeah, you saw there, they got a massive round of applause, did the Scottish, as they left the green, not only from the players, but from the crowd. Some of the best players in the world out there doing their best. Came down to a couple of shots. For me, it was probably the multiple that changed the game, and that multiple was the difference in terms of the shots. But Australia played the big bowls when it mattered and come away with a win.
Carla, I'm becoming a fan. It was great, wasn't it?
Oh, it was so exciting up there, and also I just loved to see the standing ovation for the Scottish team as they walked off. The crowd really appreciated the fantastic bowls they got to see today, and we know we don't get that sort of atmosphere unless the players get out there and play so good. And two awesome teams, and unfortunately someone had to come away the winner.
Barry, you've got the Drinkwise man of the match, or the player of the match?
Yeah, what a play it was. When it really mattered, Carl Healey last year, so close to winning gold in Birmingham in the Commonwealth Games. This year, well, he's come away with 2 gold medals. The last end here, game was on the line. Scotland actually holding one, sits that bowl out to make a couple and take the pressure away from Aron Sherriff and force the pressure back onto Scotland.
We knew 3 of our 4 already had a gold medal from the triplets last week. It's for Aron Teys to join as well. I mean, you've got a big smile on your face, Carla.
Yeah, no, you could see as a team how important it was. They really felt like they wanted to win that for Aron as well, to get him in amongst the gold medal celebration. And I love that spirit, and you can see as well all the Aussie team, they were dying to get on and celebrate with them. A gold medal for one is a gold medal for all. So, yeah, it's just great teamwork from them all, and, yeah, very exciting to see that happen.
You've both played extensively for this Australian team. There are sacrifices involved to getting to this level, aren't there?
Yeah, lots of work goes in the background with culture. We have a playbook, and that playbook really spells out how to go about it as a person and a player, and all the things you need to commit to as a Jackaroo. And when we see those footage, and that footage, Carla, you've been there and done it, you see the family, you see the friends, you see the club mates, the sponsors, everyone, the backbone to what you're doing. And Carla, it's not easy, is it, over the years, but being away, but you can't do it without your support.
Yeah, absolutely. You rely so much on your family, and they're winning gold medals too for you. So, a lot of these boys, they're dads as well, so they've got kids at home, they've got wives at home, they've got jobs that they've got to get time off for. So it's a lot of commitment. There's a lot of people that help. It's not just the people that are here.
Right at home, let's have a look at the analyser.
Yeah, it was an interesting moment of the match. Scotland were really starting to come back. They didn't get in front, but they were really starting to peg back when it came to scoreboard pressure. And we know scoreboard pressure is so important. This little team meeting here, what are they talking about? Is it a change of hands for Corey? Are they talking about it, trying to change the length? Are they talking about covering the tee, being more attacking? Those little team talks, that communication can help settle the nerves and just settle their way into that second half of the match. And we can see the result of that team chat.
Yeah, I think also, it's 15 ends, it's a long game, so sometimes it's easy to sort of dip in your performance. So it's good just to reset as a team, remind each other what your team plan was, and that enables you to restart and fire through the second half.
Well, welcome back to the beautiful Broadbeach Bowls Club for the 2023 World Championships, where we've just witnessed Australia come over the top and win a gold medal against Scotland in the men's fours on this beautiful day here on the Gold Coast. And I'm joined by the Australian assistant coach, Karen Murphy, legend herself, been there, done it, won multiple major titles for Australia. Karen, how are you feeling? There's lots of tears going around, but you personally, from a coach and knowing these players so well across their journey, how are you feeling?
Oh, I'm just so excited for them, Baz. You know how much they put into it, their preparation, trying to stay cool under pressure, and, you have some speed humps and things through the section, but these boys were solid, I think, all week in the fours, and just so happy for them. Our boys have probably, the last probably 10 to 12 years, probably been in the top 3 of the world. I really feel like the boys have sort of put their stamp on it and, really sort of reaped the rewards of their preparation, and now world champs in 2023.
Yeah, absolutely. And they would have been sitting around waiting. They can't wait to get those medals on their necks. So it is hard. You win and you've got to wait a few hours until you can get the medal. So they'll be waiting to get that on for sure.
And of course, as we mentioned, 3 of that men's fours were involved in the triplets. So they leave these championships as dual gold medalists.
Yeah, isn't that the ultimate dream, isn't it? To come here, win 2 gold medals. That's what we all hope for. Bloody hard work to get that. So they'll be very happy, those boys, that's for sure. And to see Aron Teys come into that mix from their triple success and really add to that team environment, I think that's what helped them get there.
Well, you know, it forever marks you for life, doesn't it? A dual gold, a dual world champion.
Yeah, and no matter what, no matter where you end up in life, you always know you've got them hidden somewhere in a cupboard that you can go and have a look and reflect. And yeah, it's memories that stick with you forever.
We won't.
Please welcome back onto the Broadbeach Bowls Green the 2023 World Bowls Championship Men's Fours, Bronze, Silver and Gold medalists. Firstly, to the 2023 World Bowls Championship Men's Fours Bronze medalists, please congratulate from Ireland, Stuart Bennett, Adam McEwen, Ian McClure and Martin McHugh. And from New Zealand, Tony Grantham, Chris Lalive, Lance Pascoe and Sheldon Bagri Healey. Now to the 2023 World Bowls Championship Men's Fours Silver medalists, please congratulate from Scotland, Jason Banks, Derek Oliver, Paul Foster, MBE and Alex Marshall, MBE. Now, from Australia, now to the 2023 Men's World Bowls Fours Champions and Gold Medalist Australia, Corey Wedlock, Aron Teys, Carl Healey and Aaron Sherriff. If you're able, please be upstanding for the playing of the national anthem of our gold medal winning men's fours team.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free, with golden swords.
Thank you, men's fours players. You may now exit the rink. Please give another round of applause for our men's fours medalists.